I worked at a small boutique flower shop near Pike Place Market. The air there always smelled of damp earth and fresh lilies. Across the street was a high-end European car dealership where Oliver worked. For months, we were just silhouettes through the glass, nods at 8 a.m., polite smiles when we both ducked into the same coffee shop to escape the drizzle. I watched him. He had a way of looking at those cars as if he were memorizing their souls, a quiet intensity that made my heart stutter. But he wasn't alone. I'd see her, Sloane, appearing at the dealership like a sudden fog, her hand always on his arm, marking her territory with every kiss. Then, one gray Tuesday, he walked into my shop. He wanted a bouquet for his mother's 60th birthday. I felt a spark as our fingers brushed over the stems of the white roses, a heat that the Seattle chill couldn't touch. He told me he was single, that his relationship with Sloane had ended months ago. It was a release, he said, his eyes lingering on mine. I didn't know then that Sloane was watching from her window in Queen Anne, right across from his front door, counting every second he spent away from her. In this city, the rain covers many tracks, but it can't wash away a grudge. We started dating. It was fast, fueled by long talks over black coffee while the city turned blue in the twilight. But there was always a shadow. Whenever I parked in front of Oliver's house, I felt eyes on the back of my neck. Sloane lived directly across the street in a Victorian house that looked like it belonged in a ghost story. She didn't hide. She'd stand behind her sheer curtains, a pale silhouette, staring at us with a face that looked like it had been carved from cold marble. One night, we ran into her. Oliver was holding my hand, pulling me toward his porch as the rain turned into a downpour. "You think you won, don't you? You think you're the special one. You have no idea what's waiting for you in the water, you little fool. You haven't tasted the salt yet." Oliver didn't say a word. He just gripped my arm and hurried me inside, his jaw tight. He told me she was just unstable, a ghost of a past he'd buried. But his mother, Eleanor, knew better. She pulled me aside in the library, her hands trembling as she adjusted a silver talisman on the shelf. "She's a viper, Maya. She left a circle of black salt at our gate last week. She's calling the deep water to drag you under." I laughed it off then. I told myself it was just old world superstition. I didn't believe in curses until the air started leaving my lungs in the middle of a calm sea. 11 months had passed. 11 months of stolen kisses in the rain and a love that felt like it could outshine the grayest Seattle winter. We were celebrating our anniversary at a small waterfront restaurant in Ballard. Outside, the Puget Sound was a black mirror, swallowing the lights of the distant ferries. Oliver looked at me with an intensity that made my breath catch, a look that said he had finally found his North Star after years of navigating a storm. He took my hand, his thumb tracing the line of my knuckles, and for a moment, the restaurant's chatter faded into a dull hum. "Maya, we've been together nearly a year, and I don't want another second to go by without you in every part of my life. I love you. I want to spend my life with you. What would you say if we moved in together, into my mother's house in Queen Anne? We can make it ours. It's time we stopped living between two houses." I was caught off guard. My heart skipped a beat, and my voice felt small against the weight of his words. "Oliver, are you sure? Your mother and the house, it's a big step." He just smiled, a warm, reassuring look that melted my doubts. I've never been sure of anything else, Maya. I want you by my side every morning. I want to wake up to you, not a memory of you." I said yes. I ignored the cold shiver that ran down my spine when I thought of Sloane living just across the street from that house. I was choosing love over fear. But as we walked out of the restaurant, the wind shifted, smelling of salt and rot. I saw a flash of pale fabric across the street, a silhouette watching us from the shadows of a parked car. Sloane was there, her face a mask of silent, freezing rage, her eyes reflecting the restaurant lights like a predator in the dark. We moved in. It was supposed to be our trial period before the wedding, a time for joy and planning. But then came January, the coldest, wettest month in the Northwest. Oliver rented a cabin on Orcas Island for a getaway, trying to give us the peace we lacked in Queen Anne. A beautiful house with a heated pool and a view of the dark, churning ocean. I thought I was safe, away from the watchful eyes across the street. But the water had a different, darker plan. The first incident happened in the pool. It was small, only 5 feet deep. I was swimming alone in the early morning mist when a sudden, violent dizziness hit me. It felt like a heavy, invisible hand was pressing on my chest, forcing the oxygen out of my lungs. I looked down through the stinging chlorine, and for a split second, the water didn't look clear. It looked dark, thick like silt from a fresh grave. I began to sink, my limbs turning to lead, as if gravity had tripled. I couldn't scream. I could only watch the light from the surface grow dim and distorted. "Maya! Maya, hold on, I've got you." Oliver pulled me out just as the world was turning black at the edges. But it didn't stop there. 2 days later, at the beach, a rogue wave, in a sea that was otherwise perfectly calm, dragged me under. It felt like cold, wet fingers were wrapped around my ankles, pulling me toward the deep salt, anchored by a weight I couldn't see. When I finally made it back to the sand, shaking and blue with cold, I saw a small, wet footprint on the wooden dock that didn't belong to any of us. I realized then that Sloane didn't need to be there to hurt me. She had called the elements to do her dirty work. I wasn't just drowning in water. I was drowning in the residual energy of her hate. We returned to Seattle under a sky the color of a bruised lung. The Orcas Island trip had left me fragile, my lungs still feeling the phantom weight of the salt water. Oliver was protective, his hand never leaving the small of my back as we entered the Victorian house in Queen Anne. The house should have smelled of Eleanor's lavender polish and the cedar wood of the banisters, but as I stepped into our bedroom, a different scent hit me, a thick, organic rot that made the back of my throat itch. It wasn't the smell of a damp house. It was the smell of something that had been dead for a long time. I began to move through the room, my heart hammering a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I checked the corners, the closet, the trash. Nothing. But the odor was growing, a heavy, humid stench of ammonia and old decay. It felt like the air itself was curdling around me. I followed the scent to the center of the room, right to the edge of our antique high-post bed. "Maya? What is that? Did a pipe burst while we were gone? It smells like a sewer in here." "It's coming from under here, Oliver. Help me." I dropped to my knees, my palms pressing against the cold hardwood floor. I lifted the heavy velvet dust ruffle, and my breath hitched. Tucked deep against the wall, hidden in the shadows where no light reached, was a shallow ceramic basin. Oliver reached under and dragged the basin out. The sound of the ceramic scraping against the floor echoed like a bone snapping in the silence. We both recoiled. The basin was filled to the brim with a yellowish, stagnant liquid, the source of the overwhelming stench of urine and bile. But it wasn't just the filth that stopped my heart. Submerged in the center of that liquid, face down, was a small wax doll. Oh God, she's been inside. She's been in my house. I reached out with a trembling hand, using a pen to flip the doll over. The wax was carved with a crude but unmistakable likeness of my face. Across the doll's torso, my name, Maya, had been etched deep into the wax with a jagged blade. Around the doll's neck, a lock of dark hair was tied. My hair, taken from the brush I'd left on the vanity. The doll wasn't just floating, it was being drowned in a ritual of pure, concentrated malice. That's it. This ends today. I'm going over there and I'm going to drag Sloane out of that house myself. He turned, his face flushed with a terrifying heat, and stormed toward the stairs. I watched him from the floor, my eyes locked on the doll's face wax, realizing that the drownings at the island weren't accidents. Sloane hadn't just followed us. She had stayed behind to build a bridge of hate that reached across the water to find me. The house felt cold, a deep ancestral chill that no heater could touch. I wasn't just a fiancé anymore. I was a marked woman in a city of rain. Oliver didn't wait. He stormed across the wet asphalt of Queen Anne, fueled by a rage I had never seen in him before. His mother, Eleanor, and I watched from the safety of our porch, the Seattle mist sticking to my skin like spider webs. I had almost convinced myself it was all a coincidence until the night I came home from the market and found a single cracked amethyst on my nightstand. It was my birthstone, taken from a bracelet I'd inherited from my mother. It wasn't missing before. My system, always prone to assuming the worst, assumed she had touched my hand. Oliver's systematic mind assumed I was just overreacting to the Orcas Island incident. Sloane, you opened this door. What did you do to Maya? What did you put under our bed? We saw you. We have proof. Proof? You don't know the first thing about proof, Oliver. You think a few wax dolls are all I have? You haven't tasted the water yet, the salt. It has your name on it. Oliver had to be pulled away by neighbors. Sloane didn't open the door. She just laughed, a dry, rattling sound that seemed to come from the deepest part of the swamp. My systematic mind locked the doors to my heart. I felt cheated, deceived. The irony was a jagged pill in my throat. I had moved 1,000 miles to get away from my past, and now I was living in a haunted house with a woman who had a key. The police couldn't do anything. There was no sign of forced entry. Oliver became a stranger, spending his nights patrolling the house, checking the same locks, his brows furrowed in a perpetual frown. I began to see the doubt in his eyes, the way he looked at me when I talked about my past, as if he were looking for the cage Caleb had mentioned. We started arguing over nothing. The laughter in the saddlery had died, replaced by a heavy, humid silence that felt like the air before a tornado. The worst part was realizing I had shown him the way. I had introduced him to my mother's old world, to the talismans and the rituals that were supposed to protect us. Oliver, maybe Maya's just overreacting. Sloane's been nothing but a gentleman since he got here. Why can't you just move on? I saw them talking in the stables, Caleb and Jackson, two friends, sharing a life that used to be mine. I don't handle her. We're partners. She's free here. I watched Jackson tense. I saw the seed of doubt being planted in the fertile bluegrass soil. Caleb wasn't trying to take me back anymore. He was trying to poison the ground where I had planted my flowers. He looked at me through the flames, a split-second look that said, "If I can't have you, no one will have what you think you found." That night, the cold of the coal mines finally reached the heart of Lexington. 3 months passed. The rain in Seattle had turned into a relentless, freezing curtain that never seemed to lift. I had moved out of the master bedroom and into the small guest suite at the back of the house, unable to bear the weight of Oliver's silent judgment. I thought I had seen the worst of it until the night Eleanor called a formal family dinner. The table was set with the fine Waterford crystal, the same ones we used for Oliver's promotion. "Maya, Oliver, we have news. It's been a difficult winter for everyone, but we've decided that family is what matters most. Sloane and I have talked. She's moving back into the carriage house to help me with the estate. We're going to be a family again, right here under one roof." I've always felt like this house was my true home. I guess Seattle was the place where I was finally supposed to grow up. Don't look so shocked, Maya. Isn't this what you wanted? For everyone to just move on? I felt the room spin. The woman who had drowned my effigy in filth, the woman who had tried to pull me into the deep salt of the Sound, was now invited into the very heart of my sanctuary. I looked at Eleanor, glowing with a misplaced sense of peace, and then at Oliver, who was nodding in approval, as if he were happy to have his old friend back. I was the only one who could see the wolf in the parlor. I was the only one who remembered the metallic taste of the water. The irony was a jagged blade in my gut. I had fled to Seattle to lose her, and now she was the center of the home, while I was the ghost in the guest room. The house wasn't big enough for 3. Now that Sloane was rehabilitated and helping Eleanor with the books, it was suggested that I might be happier in a place of my own, somewhere without so much negative energy. I was being evicted from my own escape. I spent my final night in Queen Anne packing the same 2 worn bags I had brought from the flower shop. Oliver didn't even come to say goodbye. He was too busy helping Sloane fix a leak in the carriage house roof. I stood there, the ornate iron fences looking like the bars of a cage I had built for myself with my own silence. I had given Sloane everything she needed to replace me. I had shown her my fears, introduced her to my love, and provided the very vacuum she needed to fill. She wasn't the monster anymore. I was the unstable one who couldn't handle the Seattle mist. "Leaving again, Maya? You always were good at running when things got damp. Just remember, I didn't take this from you. You gave it to me the moment you let me see you blink. I'm just the woman who stayed to pick up the pieces. Goodbye, Maya. I hope you find a desert, somewhere the water can't find you." I didn't answer. I couldn't. I just walked toward the bus stop, the sound of my own footsteps echoing like the dripping of a leak I could never fix. I had run across a continent just to end up exactly where I started, alone, while the shadow held the world I thought was mine. I'm living in a dry, dusty town in eastern Washington now, working in a library where the only water is in the drinking fountain. I don't write to Eleanor anymore, and I don't call Oliver. Sometimes, when the moon is high and the air gets that rare, heavy humidity, I catch myself looking at the news, half expecting to see Sloane's face. I heard from a traveler that the Queen Anne house is thriving, that Oliver and Sloane are engaged, that they are the golden couple of the hill. I spend my nights wondering if she really changed or if she's just better at hiding the hunter now. I feel a gnawing envy that I can't suppress, an envy for the life she stole, the life I could have had if I hadn't been so paralyzed by the sight of a wax doll. I see her in my dreams, treating Oliver with the tenderness I once craved, giving him the stability I threw away. I feel robbed, not by her, but by the choices I made in the dark. Some curses don't just drown you. They wait for you to build a new life just so they can move in and stay dry while you wander out in the rain. I'm living in a dry, dusty town in eastern Washington now, working in a library where the only water is in the drinking fountain. I don't write to Eleanor anymore, and I don't call Oliver. Sometimes, when the moon is high and the air gets that rare, heavy humidity, I catch myself looking at the news, half expecting to see Sloane's face. I heard from a traveler that the Queen Anne house is thriving, that Oliver and Sloane are engaged, that they are the golden couple of the hill. I spend my nights wondering if she really changed or if she's just better at hiding the hunter now. I feel a gnawing envy that I can't suppress, an envy for the life she stole, the life I could have had if I hadn't been so paralyzed by the sight of a wax doll. I see her in my dreams, treating Oliver with the tenderness I once craved, giving him the stability I threw away. I feel robbed, not by her, but by the choices I made in the dark. Some curses don't just drown you. They wait for you to build a new life just so they can move in and stay dry while you wander out in the rain. And that is the final entry from Maya's archive. A story of a woman who tried to outrun a shadow, only to find that the shadow had a key to the front door. It's a bitter truth, isn't it? That sometimes the peace we seek is found by the very people we flee from. If Maya's journey through the Seattle mist has moved you, please leave a like on this video and subscribe to our channel. Help us continue to unbox these heavy truths from the secrets inbox. But now I want to turn this over to you, my confidential listeners. Was Sloane truly a master of the dark arts, or was she just a master of human psychology? Would you have stayed to fight for your place in that house, or would you have run as far as your feet could carry you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Because in Seattle, the rain always falls, but the secrets it washes away always find a way back to the surface. Until next time, stay safe and keep your secrets close. Good night.